Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today we have some very interesting news as some new leaks and rumors are surfacing in regards to COD 2025, otherwise known as Black Ops 7. This information was posted over to the Gaming Leaks subreddit, and on there he says he's happy to verify this information, and Tom Henderson has reached out to them, and we're waiting on Tom Henderson to kind of report back on that. But right now I thought it would be interesting to go over the news as we have information in regards to campaign, zombies, as well as multiplayer. But as always, when it comes to these leaks and rumors, take everything with a grain of salt, as this is coming in from a relatively unverified source, but a lot of this information has already been revealed to us by credible leakers and credible industry insiders such as Charlie Intel, Tom Henderson, and of course the Ghost of Hope. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the post. Recently taken part in a study group for an upcoming Call of Duty, here is some of the content in which I had insight to. The story will be set in 2035 and will be a follow-up to the Black Ops 2 story. Story will also involve Woods and Mason and one other character, can't remember the third named character. Story mode will also allow for up to 4-player co-op. Story will also include a big open world map titled Avalon. So that actually lines up quite a bit with what we've heard in the past. We do know the game is going to be a sequel to Black Ops 2. Apparently it's now going to be set in 2035. Woods and Mason will be involved, of course. There's going to be co-op, and Avalon is going to be a part of it. And there's also going to be more of an open world, which I thought we were kind of moving away from that. Like the entire open world, big Call of Duty map thing just doesn't work for campaign for me personally, and I'm sure a lot of you guys didn't really enjoy that either. But the idea of it being set on Avalon does really make a lot of sense, given the fact that virtually every multiplayer map within Black Ops 6 is set on Avalon. Avalon is pretty much the foundation of the Black Ops 6 story and the multiplayer and everything. And it was going to be the new Warzone map until, well, you guys know what happened with Black Ops 6 this year and the player count and everyone leaving and everything, then Activision panicking. What they essentially did was, at first we thought maybe they just straight up scrapped the Avalon Warzone map to bring back Verdansk because they knew they could cash in on everybody's nostalgia from 2020, but it seems like maybe perhaps they're going to be taking Avalon, repurposing it for the campaign of Black Ops 7 or COD 2025, wherever you want to call it, and then also implementing the Avalon Warzone map later on next year. That really seems to be the plan as of right now. Now moving along here to zombies, and multiplayer is on the way, sit tight guys. Zombies mode will have the original crew return as multi-universe variations like Tank Dempsey, Takia, Richtofen, and Nikolai. Then we have Zombies mode will have a transit remake. Zombies will be round-based. Zombies mode will also have a difficulty toggle, a wonder vehicle, and a more story-focused mode as well. And Zombies mode will feature the largest round-based map ever created. So we have heard this stuff in the past as well. It does make sense for them to kind of rehash all those characters, because that's what people want at the end of the day. Me personally, I play zombies quite a bit, but I'm not super big into the story or anything. I just want to run around as Dempsey or Nikolai. They're freaking hilarious. I love those characters, and to have them back would be pretty nice. A transit remake I think could be really cool. I am unapologetically a transit fan. I thoroughly enjoyed that map back in Black Ops 2. It was really freaking cool, and I know a lot of people didn't like it for one reason or another, but a lot of the map was limited by the hardware that was available at the time. So nowadays they could do something really cool with the idea of transit, and then you have the idea of the largest round-based zombies map ever created. That could be potentially interesting, I suppose, without getting too far into Outbreak. But then we heard that there's going to be a difficulty toggle as well as a wonder vehicle, right? So a wonder vehicle would kind of make sense if they're going back to the idea of having Outbreak within COD 2025. Outbreak, of course, was last seen back during Black Ops Cold War, and some people liked it, some people didn't. For me personally, Transit was cool, but Outbreak wasn't. Outbreak just felt like Warzone the Zombies experience almost before they gave us proper Warzone the Zombies experience in Urzikstan, so a wonder vehicle could be interesting, but the idea of a difficulty toggle, this is something we've heard about in the past, and maybe it's finally coming to fruition. A lot of people want a classic mode for zombies, and what that means is basically getting rid of all the Warzone-ification that zombies has had over the years. For example, getting rid of weapon rarities, getting rid of the armor system, getting rid of loadouts, making it so you spawn in, you have your pistol, you have to buy your guns off the wall or use the mystery box. Basically, fans want old school, classic, traditional Treyarch zombies, and that difficulty toggle may very well be the implementation of classic mode for fans as an option, which would be pretty freaking cool. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the multiplayer. Multiplayer will feature a 32 on 32 player mode, will feature some remakes of popular maps in a 2035 futuristic Japanese style theme. It did give examples of these maps, but I can't remember the names. One began with an R. Plan for everything to have a progression level system, including grenades, kill streaks, and perks, and plans for multiplayer progression to carry over from Black Ops 6. So, there's a lot to unpack right there, but first things first, carry forward potentially happening once again. This further goes back to what we talked about previously, where COD 2025, Black Ops 7, wherever you want to call it, is going to kind of feel like Modern Warfare 3 felt like after Modern Warfare 2, where it kind of feels like an update, more of an expansion than anything, and it really does seem like they're going to be going down that route. If they're going to have carry forward from Black Ops 6, then everything that we do here in Black Ops 6 will matter in the next game, which is kind of nice, but will they do enough to make the game actually feel like a proper title as compared to making it feel like more of a DLC or more of an update? I do find the idea of them remaking popular maps kind of interesting. We have heard in the past that essentially COD 2025 was just going to take all the original Black Ops 2 multiplayer maps from 2012 and just copy and paste them into the game, like similar to what we saw with Modern Warfare 3 and their launch maps just last year, right? It was going to feel pretty freaking weird, but at the same time be nice to see all those Black Ops 2 maps. But reportedly, according to this post right here, some of them are going to have like a futuristic Japanese style theme to them. So if they do really go through and use the layouts of all the original Black Ops 2 maps, but actually make them look different, make them look unique, that could be an interesting way to go about things. But at the same time, it would be nice if we just had some proper original multiplayer maps that were good as compared to always falling back on the classics. It really does seem like these days, and maybe you guys disagree, but it seems like we get a lot more average to bad maps now than we get actually like really good freaking amazing maps. Like, when's the last time COD released a map and it was like, wow, that map is an instant classic, it's a banger, we're gonna see this map in every future COD title, it's so freaking good? We don't really see that, right? On occasion, maybe one map gets remastered or something like that, but in general, they just keep playing the classics. All the maps from World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 2 just keep coming back ad nauseum. And for newer COD fans, I'm sure that's fine because they don't know those maps as well as us, but if you're an old school COD fan who's been playing the franchise forever, I mean, how many times can we keep playing on Firing Range? How many times can we keep playing on Nuketown? How many times must we bring back Raid? You know, these maps are good, don't get me wrong, but how many times, right? I would like some new original stuff. I would love to see new maps come out that are just so freaking good that where our minds are blown, and every year we're like, no, forget Firing Range, bring back this new map. This new map blows Firing Range out of the water. And you would think that would be possible. You know, of course, Firing Range has like all the nostalgia and the warm fuzzies and all that, but you think it would be possible with all the devs, all the years, all the experience, all the metrics, all the data and everything, you think they would be able to come out with a wonderful, like perfect Call of Duty map that just blows the old ones out of the water, but they can't. And for some reason, maps from like 2008 to 2010 are still being remade every single year. So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with this whole idea of them remaking maps with a 2035 futuristic Japanese style theme. But then we have the plan for them to have a progression level system for everything, like grenades, perks, kill streaks, and all that stuff. More progression, you guys know me, is always a good thing in the COD franchise. Like with skill-based matchmaking essentially ruining everything, the only thing that distracts me from how terrible the matchmaking system is to have that carrot on a stick and something for me to focus on. Every year, that's pretty much dark matter. I get dark matter or the equivalent of it every single year. I've done it the last 3 years, for crying out loud. But once that's done, once I have my camo, then I find the game to be ridiculously frustrating because I no longer have anything to really grind for. And when you no longer have that thing to occupy your mind, you then focus solely on how terrible the matchmaking system is and how manipulative the entire multiplayer experience is, and it burns you out and then makes you not want to play the game. I think it happens for me pretty much every year, and I'm sure it happens to you guys as well, where you play for a couple of months, you accomplish your goals, skill-based matchmaking is now at the forefront once again, you get tired of it, you stop playing. Like, that's pretty much the COD cycle for me over the course of the past couple of years. So having more forms of progression could be good. Bringing back pro perks from back in the day would be freaking fantastic if that's maybe the route they want to go down. But then we also have the idea of them featuring a 32 on 32 player mode. I'm torn on that personally, and I know a lot of you guys probably like Ground War. Let me know down there in the comments. Like, do you enjoy that 32 on 32 COD experience on like basically just Warzone maps? Because for me personally, I'm not a huge fan. It not only does it divide the player base up quite a bit, but also when you have time, effort, and resources going into a 32 on 32 mode, I feel like at that point it's also going to be hurting and hindering the traditional 6v6 experience. I would much rather them focus solely on what makes COD good. You know, the idea of them having Outbreak, for example, in zombies once again this year. It's just something I don't want. I want them to focus solely on traditional round-based zombies and make it as good as humanly possible. And the same thing's true of multiplayer. Like, we don't need all this crazy like 32 on 32. Just make sure 6v6 is good. I mean, if you want to bump it up to 9v9, 10v10, even 12v12 on some of the bigger maps, fine, that's whatever. But when you're focusing on like Ground War and 32 on 32 and tanks and vehicles, like, dude, can we stop Warzone-ifying everything? You did it to the campaign, you did it to zombies, you've already done it to multiplayer essentially, but this takes that even further. Like, Warzone is not everything, believe it or not, and that's coming from somebody who's been playing nothing but Warzone pretty much over the course of the past week, going back to Verdansk and playing with my buddies. So hopefully they get their priorities straight when it comes to that. But ladies and gentlemen, there you guys have it. That's pretty much the long and the short of everything that we saw right here today. Again, this person says they are happy to verify this information, and Tom Henderson is talking to him right now, so I imagine we're going to be hearing an update from Tom in the relatively near future. He also says he saw another prototype game that is planned with Alex Mercer returning as the protagonist, but also what's weird about that is, so you're seeing stuff for Black Ops 7, but you're also seeing stuff for Prototype within the same study group. Like, that seems a little bit weird. I think Tom mentioned that in his article over on Insider Gaming. I'll put a link to that as well down there in the description. So again, when it comes to these leaks and rumors, take everything with a grain of salt, but a lot of this was already previously reported on, but now it's been expanded upon a little bit, talking more in detail about some of these features. So ladies and gentlemen, there you guys have it. I hope you enjoyed this video here today. Leave your thoughts and feedback on all the news down there in the comments. Be sure to sub to the channel if you guys haven't already. Thank you all so much for listening and for your continued support of my channel, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.